Hey everybody, welcome to the Art of Reading Smoke with Phil Jost. I'm Phil Jost. Let's get started. Hey, what we're looking at today, so I did a series of videos maybe about 3 or 4 months ago about transitional attacks, and I still use the verbiage transitional attacks. What we're really talking about the sort of the updated version of the way the stuff is talked about is to call it an off-plane exterior attack, right? So off-plane meaning from below or above, in this case below, and then exterior versus interior water application. So just to be a little more precise, this will be an off-plane exterior attack to begin with, and the links are obviously in the show notes. So if you want to see this video, the whole video is like 20 minutes long, and this is well after they begin operating. These are vacant derelict structure here, and so they're not big in the offensive mode. They're sort of trying to. It looks to me, right, like I wasn't there. I don't know for sure, but it looks to me like they're just trying to get the thing out without putting anybody at too much risk. Which is why this fire got going. So they're about 10 minutes or so, and this fire gets going in this room here, and they use exterior water, right, off-plane exterior water to get this thing out. And so what normally, or sort of colloquially, we could call a transitional attack, would be an off-plane exterior attack. So what we're looking for in those situations is a rapid and sustained decrease in velocity and density. One of the risks we have when we see a fire like this is that this is the extension fire and the primary fire is in some other part of floor number 2, right? And so putting this fire out won't solve the problem. Let's say that this fire started in the Bravo Charlie or the Charlie Delta corner and was extending to here. If you put this room out, it's not going to put that Charlie Delta room out, right? And so in cases where this is the primary fire room, you're going to see a rapid and sustained decrease in velocity and density. If, let's say, the primary fire room was in Charlie Delta and extended to this room, what you would see is you'd convert the room. Either way, you'll convert the room, but the difference would be if that fire was back here still cranking the volume, velocity, density, color, right, still cranking the smoke out, you'd convert the room, but you'd have a significant underlying velocity and density that would remain. And so we're going to see here, we're going to be able to look at a couple of different ways, right? So they got a couple lines here operating. They're going to move one into position to put this fire out. And you can see it's pretty much 100% exhaust at these windows, right? It's getting its air from somewhere else. That tells us that the door to that room is open, which in this type of occupancy would seem obvious, right? But they're going to reposition this line, this one right here, and you're going to see first he's going to hit it just briefly, and you'll notice it's not a great angle and all sorts of things, but even with just 3 or 4 seconds of water, he's going to be able to convert, right? He's going to convert the room almost instantaneously, right? 1, 2, 3, well, he's not even in there, 4, 5, right? So he's got like 4 or 5 seconds of water in there. Notice it does convert the room. But we have this underlying velocity and density right here, and now he's going to go back to, so this right here, right, while he's moving, right, so he converts the room while he's moving. Notice that the velocity and density continues, and that's very close to the visual you would see if the fire was in another section. But he's going to now move this line, and notice he's not always in the window, right? It's not like a perfect off-plane exterior attack. Could be moving the base, right? He could be moving his body a little bit to get a little bit of better water mapping in the room, that sort of thing. But is going to be able to completely convert that fire, and there's no underlying. Now we're looking at the velocity and density is basically gone from that room, and it's replaced with copious volumes of clean, pristine, dissipating white, otherwise known as steam. You notice the window itself has basically nothing coming out of it at periods, but you can see the steam right here is it just goes away, right? So let's go back and see the whole thing again. And it's just a good review, right? So not the best attack angle, right? But able to get enough water in there in 4 or 5 seconds to completely convert the room, right? Just the fact of the water being in there converts the room, but it has this underlying velocity and density, and that's a really good visual cue that would continue. If that fire was in Charlie Delta and had extended to Alpha Delta, you would see that this underlying density that you're going to see when he shuts it down to move. Oops, I missed it. Right? This is what you'd see. This sort of this color and everything is really representing what it would be if that fire was in Charlie Delta, which in this case it's not. This is the primary fire room. So with a little more water, it's going to be able to completely put that, basically complete, I mean, I know it needs to be overhauled, right? But remove all the risk of that event. And it's replaced, the underlying velocity density is replaced with clean, pristine, copious volumes of clean, pristine, dissipating white. All right, try to get my verbiage right here. And so those are the visual cues you're looking for. Now, if you don't get that conversion, right, you pull up, that fire's right there, you're using an off-plane exterior water to get started, and you convert the room, but the underlying velocity and density remains, that means that fire is somewhere else and has just extended into that space. And so you need to figure out where that is and adjust your tactics accordingly, whether that means a different exterior attack, whether that means an interior attack, whatever's the most appropriate thing to do next based on your SOGs, based on your staffing, etc., etc. Right? But this is a good representation of when it works. And as always, the links are in the show notes. I so appreciate people putting these things up and giving us an opportunity to learn. This video is really long. There's other stuff to learn here, but I'm just looking at it for this piece of the reading smoke and using the art of reading smoke on the fire ground. And so for that, for the art of reading smoke with Phil Jose, I'm Phil Jose, and I'm out.